The three biggest mistakes people do with scales. Many piano students think that they need to practice scales all day long. I have already explained in many videos that this is not the case, and especially three mistakes hold people back from succeeding with their scales, and more practice will just make these things even worse. So obviously we start with the thumb movement, which you can see here, and many people play scales. I'm just showing the C major scale. Actually, it's the most difficult scale, right? Chopin asked his students to start with B major because in B major we have all the long fingers on the black keys and the short fingers, the thumb and the fifth one, on the white keys. But I'm just showing you C major now because the mistakes will be even more obvious there. In C major, if you have the right execution would be like this, right? That the thumb is moving smoothly like this. But what I see very often is that people don't really move the thumb. And then you have a lot of accents here and very irregular scale. And what you have to do instead, you have to move that thumb. Of course, there are several exercises which help you to train that, but by not moving the thumb at all, you have this big accent and it sounds just super ugly. The second mistake that I see very often is people already try with the thumb, but they will again compensate with the elbow. So what will happen is like this. That is okay in a slow tempo. And then people come and they say, hey, I have problems speeding my scales up. What they don't understand is speed is not the problem. The compensating movement of the elbow is the problem. Why? Because the elbow can move, but it cannot move fast. And we need more finger and wrist movements, not elbow movements, because the elbow movements are simply too slow to work in a fast tempo. That's also a very, very huge mistake. Now imagine people just practice that endlessly in a slow tempo, up and down, and yeah, these movements will be so automatic, it will be super hard to change them months down the road. That's why it's so important that you avoid these mistakes from the very start, because once it's a habit, it's extremely hard to change, right? And then the third problem that we often see in scales is that people work on scales with both hands at the same time. So that what they will do is like this. So far, so good. Now, why is this a problem? The problem is that both hands have difficulties in the different directions, because as we have highlighted before, the thumb movements here are the problem. So in the right hand, it's when moving up. In the left hand, it's when moving down. So you will train your hands completely individually, and if you do that at the same time, it's just not possible to focus on all these different things. And then people go and say, okay, I will just work like this in the mirror. Yeah, so far so good, but if you have the other two problems, you have just multiplied them with both hands. So you definitely need to avoid all these mistakes. And in piano technique in general, we always need to avoid the mistakes in the first place, because if you already train the wrong way, it will take you double the time later, because you have to undo the mistakes and then you need to learn the new movements, right? So that's why it's even more important to avoid the mistakes, and that's why I also highlight those things so much here on my YouTube channel, that as many people as possible can already learn from this and avoid these mistakes. Now, what do you need to do instead? Instead of practicing scales, you should first of all make sure that you use all the possible movements in your hand. You use the thumb movements, you use the fifth fingers as fingers, you use the elbows, you use the shoulders in the right way. And then once you have established that, then you can go and start practicing scales a little bit, depending on which piece to have, but also with these exercises that I also show in my masterclass program, for example, where you can learn step by step on how you can master each technical problem when it occurs. So if you want to learn with me together on how you can master your scales, don't forget to apply for that strategy session at aaronpearson.com/academy, where we will work on a plan. Maybe it's the scales you need to work on, maybe you need to work on something completely else right now. We will definitely make sure that you don't do these mistakes anymore, and if you have done them in the past, that we can fix it as fast as possible so that you can move in the right direction already. And I want you to like and subscribe to this channel, because I will now show you more and more of these very practical videos in the future, where we talk about all these difficult technical components, be it scales, be it arpeggios, be it even polyphony. We will go through that. We will work on classical sonatas. We look at the biggest mistakes in many of these areas, and we will also outline the most important steps you need to undertake in order to succeed with these pieces. And technique is a very big part of piano playing, because it is actually everything that happens between the imagination and the realization. And we need you to become friends with the piano. We don't want it to be your enemy, right? So apply for that session at aaronpearson.com/academy now, and we'll talk very soon in a brief conversation where we find out if and how I can help you exactly. If it looks promising, we have a session via Zoom where we will work out this practice plan for you. And if you like, you can then continue with us, but there are no strings attached, right? So thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment where you write down the most difficult moment in scales you have in your pieces, so we can maybe analyze them as well in the next videos. Thank you, take care, and we see each other again in the next video. Bye bye.